everyone, I thought it would be fun to do this really lovely leaf picture today. Now this is from Rita Berman's autumn book. It isn't in her compilation book, it is solely in the autumn book, but I think it's a really pretty one and wanted to have a go at it. And in fact, this morning on Instagram, or yesterday, I saw Rita actually doing a picture, not from this book actually, yes, and it inspired me to have a go at this one. It was a different picture, but you know, so I think we'll make a start. I'm going to come in a little bit. Now just a little tip, I have got another book under here. This is Rita's Asian book. It's good to get one that's the same size so that I can lean, because this is really near the end of the book, so makes it a little bit tricky to lean on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out some of the elements on the leaf to colour, and but also do a sort of quite a dark brown background for some of it as well. Do the elements first and then work out what's going to be background and just have some fun really. Now the first thing I've noticed is there are two flowers on here. Now we're going to go with an autumn palette, so I'm going to grab an orange if I can find one. What's that? That's, yeah, let's go with the orange lake. Oh, quite far away, aren't we? And do the flowers. Let me come in a bit closer to the flowers. They're right next to each other. There we go. Just shove across a bit. Just pushing my pencils along the desk. We'll do this one first. Now for this one, I think we'll go in at the bottom with quite a hard layer. And then fade up. And we'll fade into another colour. So we'll go really light, about halfway up, like that. And then we'll do the same with this one. Let's keep it all dark in the middle. Oh, it's cold in here this morning. I'm leaning against my desk and it's cold. On my body, that is. So we'll fade that up a little. I'm keeping that one a little bit darker because it's underneath. I want it to sort of look a bit darker than these two somehow. Anyway, we'll do this one. I hope everyone's enjoying the autumn colour. It may have all gone, but it depends where you are and what the weather's like, how long it sticks around really, doesn't it? I'm going to go into a sort of, yeah, let's go into the brilliant yellow. It's a sort of orangey yellow. Look at, you can see it there. I think it might just work. So I'm going to take it on the tip and make it darker here. So layer it up here and then gently blend it down into the orange. We might need to add in more orange to get it to work, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it depends, as I say, the autumn colour, it depends on the weather, because once the wind starts blowing, everything falls off the trees. And you see it all on the ground rather than on the tree. It's not quite so pretty. But I do love the autumn colours. So pretty. But then autumn's probably one of my favourite seasons because it gets cool and we can actually sleep at night. Oh, although because I'm recording this, it's the 1st of November today. I haven't turned my calendar, and I'm still struggling to sleep, partly because of the clock change. I keep waking up an hour early, which is really annoying, and also now I need to do this little bit here. I'm going to choose a different couple of colours for that. We do have a little bit of a pattern in there, but it's really little, so excuse me. I'm going to sort of ignore it really, and I'm going to go for a sort of brownish yellow. This is a terracotta light because it's quite yellowy, and do that for the middle of my flower. I'm just going to do it a little harder on the outside, a little more intense and lighter towards the middle, so it looks a bit lighter, almost looks a little bit metallic, shiny-ish. And I'm also going to do that on the outside, but I need to sharpen it because it's very blunt. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. My husband actually thought he had a nasty this morning. He took a COVID test because he's been coughing. He's been waking up in the night coughing, but no, he's fine. I think it's and it wakes me up, and then I realise I'm really hot. So I think it might be because it's hot in our room. I don't know why it gets so hot about 4:30 in the morning. The heating isn't coming on. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. But there we go. Now we're going to do this other little flower. Let's just push it to the middle. Oh, I can't. Oh, I'm just going to turn my pencil round. Ooh, the tray makes a bit of a scrapey noise. There we go. We can come in a bit more. So this flower, I'm going to do in the same colours as this one. So I'm going to keep the terracotta light and do the centre and the seedy bits. Now, again, this centre's got a pattern on. I'm going to semi-ignore it and just go around like that, trying to put a bit more colour on the outside. These I'm just going to burnish down. They're quite small. It would be nice to make them look three-dimensional, but they are too small for me. So there is that. And then we're going to do the same orangey effect. Excuse me. So the orange lake again, in the centre again, like we used it in the centre there. I think that looked quite pretty. So just bring it out towards the outside and start to fade it down. So it's quite simple. Now we've got leaves on our leaf, which is interesting. We could, of course, ignore all the patterning and just colour it in plain, but I thought it was fun to do a bit more with it. Now I'm going to grab my brilliant yellow. Oops, there we go. And do the edges just the same as this one, so darker here. And then bring it down to blend with the orange. I think I'm pressing too hard. My lead's getting a bit loose. Sounds like I've got a screw loose. My lead's loose. Probably have. I'm sure my children would say I have. I gave the family all a bit of a talking to this morning. I said, when I'm doing jobs in the house, I need you to notice and hang around and see if I need any help. And I said, you know, I don't mind asking you to help, but when you leave home, you need to be able to do it more automatically. And I sort of said, you know, to my husband, you know, when he's at his dad's house, he doesn't offer to help carry the tray or clear the table. I said, it needs to start happening because it's just polite, really. Right, all the leaves on this, so these leaves here, there are some here. I think that's it actually. I'm going to do in, I'm going to start with the cinnamon, so sort of lightish brown, and do that at the base of each leaf. It's going to be a similar technique to the flower, so fading it up. Now this is something that takes practice, but you just need to keep trying and it'll come. Now this bit I'm also going to do it darker at each end and fade towards that bit. This is a little bit different. Yeah, as I say, it all takes practice. Yeah, I think my husband was brought up in a really different way to me. As a youngster, I was expected to help in the house. It wasn't to earn pocket money or anything, I just was expected to just help. So when we were washing up, I was expected to dry up or put away or whatever, you know, clear the table. Help with the cleaning. In the holidays, help with the cleaning, that sort of thing. It was just an expectation. I have that expectation of my boys too, and they're very good. But my husband, no. He was not brought up that way. It was interesting. I don't think they had a cleaner. I know his dad does now, but his dad struggles to cope with all the work, which is fair enough. Yeah. I'm going to start with this one here, I think. I can't work out which way round this leaf is, so I'm just going to do it that way. but he was just not expected to help. I don't know if it's because he's a male and our sort of generation boys weren't sort of expected to help out quite so much, or what it was, but his dad used to do a fair bit of the housework actually, so I don't know. But anyway, trying to just say to my boys, you know, when you move out of home, whether you're living with friends or partner or whatever, you can't expect them to say to you, you need to clean up this, you need to help with this. You need to do it yourself, you know, not be the one that creates the mess or leaves the piles of washing up and things like that. You need to get on. So we'll see. They're usually quite good. I was just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, I think. It's just checking there's no more leaves, and there isn't. I think we want these, I'm going to do these as berries. Now the tips of the leaves, I think I'm going to use the yellow ochre. Oh, yellow ochre light, sorry. It's quite blunt. But yeah, I'm a bit hormonal. Terrible hormones. My sister was complaining as well. We're twins, so we're going through menopause at the same time. And she's having different problems to me. She's actually, her skin is very bad. And I said, I didn't really suffer from bad skin. She seems to be a little bit behind me in her symptoms. But I only get bad skin if I eat lots of sugar. I haven't eaten sugar for a long time, so luckily doesn't affect me. Well, when I say sugar, I mean obviously I have natural sugar, I eat bananas and veggies and fruits and things, but I try to avoid added sugar as much as I can. I get very addicted, so it's tricky. Anyway, she was saying her skin was bad, so I was saying, you know, try giving up the sugar, and she said I might. And it's obviously really hard. I have sympathy for anyone that tries it. It's very, very hard. Once you've done it and you're not in the habit of having it, it becomes a lot easier. But initially, my goodness. But anyway, but I find my worst thing is the anxiety and the just hormonal grumpiness. So but she was telling me about natural remedies and I should look online, but the problem is that a lot of the things that you're supposed to have I can't have. So apparently flax seeds, which I can't eat seeds, and nuts, so it's tricky. But I do have supplements with everything in that I should need, and it has evening primrose oil in as well, I think, but I just don't know. But I was considering getting HRT. I've been hearing good things and bad things. I just don't know. But I ought to speak to my GP, I suppose, but it's just something I don't do. I always feel like our GPs are so busy that I should just leave. I shouldn't go. I should leave it for people who really need it. Right, berries. I'm going to do this terracotta for the berries. Now these are quite small, so I think only one colour, really. I think I'm going to make them a bit lighter in the middle. They're not exactly round, but I want to leave a little bit of shine like that. So I'm sort of trying to go around the edge. I should have done that in the leaf colour. We'll go back to that in a minute. There we go. And this one, again, all the way around the edge, and just bring the colour in towards the centre with less layers. So we've got, looks a bit shiny in the middle. It's quite hard to do with this pattern drawn on it actually. I'll do the best I can. Oh yeah, that one. Now with the little bits that are on the berries, we've got these sort of leaf bits, flower bits. I'm not sure I can actually do them this colour as well. I find it odd this is called terracotta. It looks very orangey to me. For me, terracotta is a little bit browner. But there we go. Okay. Yeah, sweet. Oh, sorry, I need to get my hanky. Oh, I've just seen another berry. Can you spot it? You probably have already. Yeah. There we go. Yes, that bit there. Going to grab my cinnamon and do the top and bottom. Like that, and then the yellow ochre light was what we used, wasn't it? To bring it all together. There we go. Okay, so I've done this sort of section. Now these dots, I might do them the base colour and that. So I might just do these loopy bits and these round bits. What should we use? Let's see, what have we got? We've got a burnt ochre. Do them in a burnt ochre? Yeah, let's do them in a burnt ochre. We want oranges and browns and things. Now I've also just noticed this should be the same colour as this, so let's just go back to the cinnamon again. In fact, I'm going to do these too in the cinnamon. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's going to be a leaf now because it's the leaf colour. I chose these pencils, I didn't even tell you what they were, Castle Art Soft Touch, because of the lovely autumnal palette that it gives us. So burnt ochre, so all of these circles, I'm going to just do them darker around the edge and lighter in the middle. I don't know how much that shows up on this shape because of the way it's drawn, but that's what I want to do. So I'm going to work my way around doing that. This might be the last different colour we choose. Oh, I've got a few browns, but I may not use browns. Let's start in the middle. I think I'm going to go light, dark on each edge, leave a light bit in the middle on all these sort of what shape? Rainbow arcs. Oh dear. There's a train going by. I saw a steam train at the weekend, which was fun. Well, we missed the actual train. We saw all the Pullman's coaches going by. It was me with my boys. It was lovely because my boys usually, they're teenagers, they're 17, they're train. But the steam train went by and they were both actually really watching it. We were just walking along the road and the track happens to run near, it's quite near the station. And near the road, you can see it from the road. So we were just watching it as we were walking. And that was fun. We couldn't see it well enough to see inside the coaches. I quite like it when you see the dining ones with the lamps on the tables. But we couldn't see it that closely, it was through the trees. But we could see the colour of the coaches, so that was fun. We've been on steam train, which was good fun. We didn't sit in the Pullman's coach, the sort of dining one. We sat in the one that's the sort of carriage with big seats facing each other, like Harry Potter, which was great fun. Then the luggage racks above your head. And the sort of automatic closing door on the little cubicle that you're sitting in. It's great fun. We used to go from Cheltenham Racecourse to Toddington, and there's a steam little museums there with all sorts of steam train paraphernalia to look at, a little cafe and a play area with a play train, wooden train kids can sit on. It was such good fun. And my one son had his photo taken with the driver's hat on, sitting in the cab, which was, it's so cute. I think they were, I'm not sure if they were preschool or sort of 4 or 5. That was lovely. I used to go with my parents. I think we took my husband's parents once as well, but they didn't like it. They said riding on the steam train reminded them of going back to school. They brought back unhappy memories of going back to boarding school on the train. Whereas for my parents, not going to boarding school, for them it brought back happy memories of seaside holidays. Because they'd go on the train to Weston-super-Mare. And in fact, they had such happy memories, my mother's family. I'm thinking about these dots. I think I'm just going to do them plain, quite small. They quite a few of her, 1, 2, 3 of her brothers, or 2 of her brothers lived there. Which was, we used to go and visit them. So our childhood holidays, we couldn't really afford to go abroad, so we would go and stay with my uncle and aunt near Weston and go down to the beach. And it's good fun. Of course, Weston-super-Mare isn't on the sea, on the ocean, it's on a river. So although it's tidal, but it was never quite as clean as a normal beach. There's a lot of mud as well. You have to be very, very careful. But we were always fine, never got muddy. I do remember walking along the edge of the water, and we began to feel our feet sinking in a little bit, so we moved a little bit because we, were in danger of there's sinking sand. But it was fine, we weren't in any danger. But the tide goes out so far there that you can't see it. So you can actually, if there wasn't mud and sinking sand, you could walk to an island out to sea because the water just disappears. I've decided I am going to do these little dots with this burnt ochre. But I remember having a great trip one day with my cousins came, and the oldest cousin that was there, she built a catwalk on the sand, and all us little kids had to put sandcastles along each side of it to sort of decorate it, and she would parade up and down the catwalk. Such fun. Oh dear. Oops, I've just gone out of the lines. I'm sure most of us have happy seaside or holiday childhood memories. Now here we've got some sort of cross-hatching and loopy bits, but we did these loopy bits in this colour, so I'm going to do these loopy bits in this colour in the same way. I'm going to sharpen my pencil, it's getting a bit too blunt for these little details. And I'm not sure whether to do the cross-hatchy bits in the same, or I might change colour. I'll have a think, because I think it might be a bit too much of the same colour. I am trying to do it a little bit darker on the edges and a bit lighter in the middle if I can. It's a little bit tricky, even with the sharp pencil. It's quite a small area. But I'm trying my best. Now I noticed up here we've got a sort of magical bit. Not sure what to do with that, but we'll see when we get there. It's so much fun doing sort of autumnal palettes. I've got a few other autumnal pages lined up as well, because last month it was a bit more Halloweeny. My piece of paper that's behind is slipping. Yeah, I'm going to do those cross hatches in a different colour. I'm thinking we've got the orangey yellows at the bottom with our flowers, which you can't actually see. Thinking maybe we'll pop a few of those colours up there. This bit I'm really unsure of what to do with as well. I think I'll use the orange lake for these cross hatchy bits. And I'm going to try and come from each side and leave a bit of a gap in the middle. Just a little bit to give it some interest rather than just solidly colouring it in, which you can do. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like that. There we go. Put a little bit, I don't want too much white. Now here, there's a lot of swirly bits which I'm going to leave, but there's a few little bits that look like leaves, and I'm going to do those in the brilliant yellow. Okay, and I'm just going to block it in because they are teeny weeny. That's it, I think. Yeah, and now we've got our background. Yeah, I'm going to use the sepia, and I'm going to do all the backgroundy bits in this. So I don't want to press mega hard, but I want it to be fairly even and dark enough for you to see it. So I'm trying to, oops, not colour over the yellow, which I just did. Lucky that was burnished down quite hard so you couldn't tell. So I don't want it really thick, but I don't want loads of paper showing through. So it's quite tricky to get an even finish when you're colouring a big area. It just takes practice. So it's just doing a round and round movement can help. Keeping an eye on it and going over areas that look a bit pale can help. If there are areas that are a bit too dark, you can erase them. Don't be afraid to grab that eraser out and just do a little bit of work. And it's just a matter of finding a technique that works for you, really, I think. I don't think it's for me to say there's one right way to do it. This is quite a reddish colour, but I think it's going to work with my idea for the outside of the leaf. I'll tell you what it is, it's not a secret. I'm going to use my gold pen to do the outline. I saw Rita do this on her pumpkin picture and it looked really lovely. So I'm going to copy her idea. I'm sure she won't mind. And this is quite reddish. If you wanted a darker brown, you could use the, I think, is it a dark burnt umber? There's a burnt umber. But I think this is okay. And we've also got our little snaily to do. I haven't forgotten about him. Now when I'm doing a big area, I find it's a little easier not to have a really sharp pencil all the time, because if you've got a sharp pencil it can make it quite dark and then it quickly blunts and then it goes lighter. But of course you need to be confident that you can fit in between all the bits without making it going over the lines too much. I mean, I'm going over the lines loads, but hopefully it's not showing up too much. Now I'm being quite quick, I realise. You may want to take your time and pause the video, do it slower and neater. But for me this is neat enough. Now we'll do all the bits in between here. I find smaller bits can be a little bit easier. Gosh, this video is going on quite a time, isn't it? I've got a cup of coffee next door going cold. I made myself a coffee, thought, well, I'll pop in and make a quick video, and then I'll come back and drink my coffee and be cold. Now I don't know, see, we've got a line around here, and I was contemplating whether to make it the same colour as the outside, you know, the gold, but I'm not going to because I think it'll look a little odd. I think we'll just have the gold around the outside and on the stem. So I've got to think about what colour to do that. I might do it the same colour as the leaves. I really like that combination of colours. This orangey colour here is a bit brash for me, but I think it is nice though to have a mix of different colours. But maybe it would have been more pleasing to me if all the colours had been there. Just even out the gaps. Right, so those leaves, were they cinnamon? I'm just going to pretend that isn't joined to that, like that. And cinnamon and yellow ochre light. That's it. I'm not going to do the gold work at the moment. I'm going to do the snail. Our snaily friend. Now, normally I would do a snail's body grey and its shell maybe brown. I think I'll start with the browns and then have a think about his body. I don't know if I really want to introduce a grey. Let's do the shell anyway. I'm thinking maybe I'll do these loopy bits in the burnt ochre like we did here. Match them up. Oh, my heating's just come on. I was feeling a bit chilly. I thought I had it. What time is it? Ah, yeah. It doesn't stay on all morning. I think it should go off by now. I'll have to check it. Maybe the clock's wrong because the clock changed. Anyway, we'll see. I haven't got a cardigan on. I prefer to wear a cardigan than have the heating on too much. As pleasant as it is. My family aren't home that much on weekdays, so the children are home on a Monday afternoon and a Friday morning, and that's it at the moment. So anyway. Well, that is all of these done. Now I'm thinking about all these other areas. I could make that brown like the leaf. Yeah. I'm just going to sharpen my sepia though. A little bit blunt. There we go. Not too sharp, just a little bit sharp enough so I can actually get some colour out of it. I'm wondering whether to make my snail yellow. It sounds a bit mad, though I'm still thinking on it. I can do this bit as well, this colour. The outside bit, I've grabbed my orange lake to do this bit. I realise I've gone miles out of the lines there. I'm just pretending I haven't done it. Nobody's noticed. Leave that gap. Then use the brilliant yellow in there. So I'm going to use the brilliant yellow on its own on that bit. And then the terracotta on this bit. A bit harder on the edges. There we go. Now his body. Let's grab the what colours have we got? Terracotta light, yellow ochre. Let's use the yellow ochre light for the main part of his body. Let's try that. putting it down quite thickly because it's slightly paler. Make it a little bit darker there. And then the little bit underneath, I was going to do terracotta. This bit of him. There we go. Now, sparkly bits. I'm just going to erase where I went very badly out of the lines here. I think I want a nice sort of goldy yellow, terracotta light, and I'm going to just go, oops, like that. Try and fade it out. Then the flowers I'm going to do in Orange Lake. I need a very sharp pencil. There we go. A lot of these petals are actually black, where they're so fine. Can do the circles as well in this colour. And we're nearly done. Got to get a gold pen next. You could use glitter. I'm not. I'm just going to use a normal gold pen. Just got to find it. A Gellyroll. Let me just come out a little bit. I want you to be able to see the whole thing when I do this. There we go. So I'm going to pick the gold, the yellowest. This one. This is the number 554. And I'm going to sort of have to start at the top. I'm going to put some dots of it around here. You might or might not be able to see. And I'm going to fill in all of this edge, and this is a slightly orangey metallic colour. It isn't gold, it's more of a coppery colour, which I think looks nice. You could use gold. I think gold would look nice as well. I just use my gold quite a lot, so I thought it would be nice to use a slightly different colour. And you just need to go around. Now with your gel pens, to be so careful that you don't smudge them by putting your hand in them. I'm very good at doing that. It's one of my special skills. So work from the top down, which is exactly what I am doing. So I'm now going to go to this side and do this bit. And go through. Now if you don't have any pens at all, then you can use a pencil. Now for this stem I'm going to try and leave the black bit showing, particularly that thick bit there. So you could use a different shade of a goldish pencil, or I would be tempted to use like a Naples yellow or a cadmium yellow, light cadmium yellow, something like that, bright. Layer it up so it's bright. That's another option. You could have of course used paint if you've got metallic paints. I know some people do. That's what Rita was using on her page. It looked fantastic, but I am not skilled with a paintbrush, so I can just about manage a pen sometimes. So it's not for me. But if you want to, you could use a different shade of pen. So this is obviously, as I said, a sort of orange coppery colour. You could use this and the gold. You could have made the stem stripy, or you could do a gold edge around this colour if you wish, or I might get my gold pen out and do some dots actually, but there's a big smudge risk because I'm finishing this bit first. Smudge risk. I'll see. But these Sakura pens are the best gel pens I've ever had. They are expensive. The Castle Arts gel pens that I've got are not expensive. They're very cheap. And value for money wise, I think they're very good. Some of them I had to throw away. They just weren't very nice. When I got them, they the colour, they had dried up. And some of them were a bit scratchy. But considering they only cost me £10 and I've got 100, they're very good for that money. These were much more expensive, but they're far superior pens. So yeah, it depends on your budget. And also in this set you get what, 12? Whereas I get 100 to choose from in the castles, although some of them I don't use very often because they're strange colours. Like the one which has got a mix of different neons in it. It's a bit odd. Okay, so there's all our sort of bronzy bit. I'm just going to show you that. Sorry, I've got to wipe my nose. I'm just going to show you that bit first, and then I'll put some gold on. Oops. Just in case you think you want to try it. I just want to catch the light. Oh, there we go. Just in case you want to try it without the gold, or in case you just have one pen. So this one is number 551. And what I'm going to use this for, I'm going to put a few more dots here. So we've got a mixture of the gold and the bronzy coppery colour there. And then I'm going to put some on this bit where we've got dots on the picture. And here. So you don't have to do this if you don't want to. No, we've got dots anywhere else we haven't. So you could go over this black, but there's a lot there I'm not going to. I don't know if that even shows up. I'm trying to see. There's not many in this bit. Do a few more. Go a bit dotty. I'm hilarious. My children would die of embarrassment. Oh, mother. Terror. Oh, that's my elbow. Bye. So there we go. There is our finished leaf with added shine. So I hope that was okay for you. I had great fun. But then I do love an autumnal palette. But thank you so much for watching. Hope that's put you in the mood for a bit of orange and brown, yellow colouring. Have a lovely day and happy colouring.